So there's this narrative in the multiple perpetrator stalker network, the affiliate network, the chatter network, the Nutter News network, of men in their network, right? The men that they talk about, thinking that you cannot move on and do better or take care of yourself or be independent, or that essentially they are a great loss in your life. First of all, okay, that man actually has to be in your life. Like, you actually have to be in a relationship with them. It can't just be some delusional narrative that a Nutter network manufactures and imagines, okay? So say you are in this relationship with this man and he's not a figment of a Nutter News network imagination, then that man has to be contributing to your life, right? He has to be a positive contribution to your life, and he has to be a positive influence in your life. Now, if a man has never contributed anything to your life, right? All the men who are complaining and whining about being a provider and all this type of stuff. If a man has never actually done anything for you, I'm not sure why this network is under the delusion that somehow he's a loss. No, only people who contribute positively to your life are a loss. Okay? People who are dead weights or who do absolutely bleep all are not a loss. It's just life goes on. Nothing is actually happening in your life. They didn't bring anything to it, and they're not taking anything away from it. A lot of these women in this Nutter News network are stalking other women because they're thinking that somehow if they get her man, if it was her man, in my case, it's not my man, they're fighting over a free agent, just a narrative they made up so that they could abuse me, pretty much, okay? They had to think of an attachment to manufacturers so that they could proxy abuse me. But anyways, if there is a woman trying to take somebody's man, it's only really relevant if that man was contributing positively, which is why you want that man. But for a man that does absolutely nothing, he is not a loss, okay? And it's eventually not going to work out anyway. It eventually works its way out of the relational system because it's just a dead weight. So when you want to be a loss to somebody, you also have to recognize that you have to contribute positively. You have to put into the pot. If you didn't put into the pot, you're not a loss, and you're also not a person who made that other person, okay? Made women and men are people who live independently. Therefore, you cannot take anything away from them, and you did not build them. And the people looking from the outside that want that person's life, I'm sorry, but you got to go get on your feet. You got to put feet to pavement. You got to do the work. Nobody does it for these women and men. They do it for themselves. And you're delusionally sitting from the outside thinking that somebody else gave it to them. And if you could only hook your dirty little paws into that person, you would be living a soft life too. Soft life thinking has put a hole in a lot of your heads, okay? It is not a free ride. You might be able to, get around a couple of blocks, but eventually you need to be able to do for yourself. And ideally, you want two people who do for self coming together and unifying for a shared vision. And both, somehow in some way, with agreed upon terms, need to contribute to that shared vision. If you didn't contribute, there's no return for you because you didn't put in an investment. So all of you women in the background talking about men thinking they're a loss for this specific narrative network, that's bullshit and a fantasy that you made up. You have to contribute to be a loss.